So the 2025 AFL draft is coming up. Again, it's still a couple of months away at the time of making this video, but we're really getting into the time period where I think a lot of the younger players are truly starting to blossom into what they are going to be in the future. Again, the under-18 seasons for most of the competitions are well and truly underway. The players, even who are still playing in the VFL, looking to try and make their way into a draft, is, of course, progressing as well. Again, we're starting to get a really good look at some of the players that the 2025 AFL draft has to offer. And of course, as a massive Richmond Tigers fan myself, this is another massive draft for the Tigers, at least at the time of making this video, because right now we currently have pick 2 and 3 in the 2025 AFL draft. So I thought it'd be a little bit fun if on today's video, again, we actually go over a little bit of a early version of this and kind of give you guys my thoughts and opinions on who I think the Tigers should, of course, actually go and draft. Now, again, before we do get into this, there are a couple things that we need to remember and we need to consider. First of all, from what the projections are saying and from all the reports from AFL commentators and journalists, is that, of course, Oscar Allen, who plays for the West Coast Eagles, is expected to leave in free agency in 2025. Again, he is very well going to be leaving to Brisbane, it does look like. And if he does go and leave and gets the contract that is being reported he's going to be getting offered, that means the West Coast Eagles will actually get pick 2 in compensation, and Richmond's pick 2 and 3 will actually get moved to picks 3 and 4. So that's one thing that we have to consider for this video. The other thing we have to consider for this video is that this draft is heavily compromised with academy players and father-son players. For example, I'm looking at a mock draft here, and picks 3, 4, 5, 7 are all literally attached to academies. So those players will basically be getting picked up by other teams. You are, as the Tigers, we're not going to have really a chance of getting a guy like, Zeke Euland if we wanted to, because Zeke Euland, he is ranked at the time of making this video on the mock I'm looking at the 3rd overall pick. But of course, if Richmond were to take him at pick 3, he would get matched by the Gold Coast Suns. Again, the third and final thing to consider when watching this video is I actually just had my braces redone, and my lisp is hella crazy right now. So if you guys hear something crazy come out of my mouth and it sounds like, I don't know, I'm not all there in the head, just consider I had my braces done and, I had red tightened and all that, and my lisp is currently crazy. So please don't, make fun of me to the point where I have to go and jump off the biggest bridge in Melbourne. Don't make fun of me like that in the comment section. I would highly appreciate it. Again, though, let's just say that Oscar Allen wasn't to leave and he was to re-sign with the Eagles. I think the first player that the Tigers would be very much, of course, looking at does happen to be William Dersma, who at the time making this video is ranked with the 2nd overall pick. Again, he is a 191 centimeter inside midfielder slash wing slash halfback slash, they literally can play this guy absolutely everywhere. It's kind of insane, really. But I think in the AFL, he will probably be an inside midfielder. He spent some time, I think, as a halfback, I think, for his representative team as well. But I don't think the Tigers are going to be able to get him, so it's not going to be a situation where I'm going to talk too much about him in this video, because I think West Coast will have 1 and 2. Meaning that, yeah, they will probably take him at pick 2 and Cooper Duff-Tyler at pick 1. So we won't go too much on William Dersma, but one player I really wanted to talk about for this pick does actually happen to be Sam Grill, who at the time of making this video is currently ranked at pick number 9 from the Oakley Chargers. Again, Sam Grill is absolutely the perfect player the Tigers could select with, of course, one of their top picks. Again, he is an inside midfielder from Oakley, like just mentioned, but he's actually drawing comparisons to Max Holmes right now in the AFL and a younger Chris Judd, because he has an insane level of burst out of the stoppage. Really quick player around the ground and in the midfield. Again, Max Holmes is becoming one of the best players in the game right now. Like, I saw a couple people the other day do a top 10 of their best players in the league right now, and Max Holmes was in like both of them. So it is really, really interesting how the type of player of Max Holmes is evolving, having a burst out of the stoppage two-way guy that can really help your team. I think Richmond desperately need that. They need some speed. They need some two-way running. Again, they need some help in the stoppage. Absolutely. I think he'd be perfect. And he's actually a little bit shorter, which the Tigers don't really have, again, other than 39 million-year-old Dion Prestia at the moment. Their midfield's actually really tall. You got Tim Turano and Hopper, who are like 187. Ross, when he plays in there, is 187. You know, a bunch of other guys. McAuliffe is like 188. Like, those type of guys, they're all really, really tall. And I think it'd be cool if the Tigers added a smaller guy in there. He's not too much smaller. I think he's about 181 to 183. Again, he would help out quite a bit. And I think he's someone that the Tigers will specifically really focus on with, you know, picks 2, 3, 4, whatever they ultimately have. Again, Noah Hibbins-Hargreaves is another one I think they will look at. He is actually ranked with pick number 12 on this list that I'm looking at, out of the Dandenong Stingrays. Again, I actually went and watched him play the other week, and I didn't think he was exactly that good, but I caught him on an off game because from all reports, this guy is a really elite high half forward who can actually play on the wing. Again, I think one of the games a couple weeks ago, he had like 4 goals and 19 disposals, which is absolutely insane. Again, I think the Tigers genuinely need a high half forward, and I think they need a taller high half forward, like kind of that Will Hayward, Cam Rayner type of prospect. Again, right now, Sam Lawler is playing that role, but I think as Sam Lawler develops and, again, gets better in the league, I think he'll be more of that Christian Petrarca, Dustin Martin type of role where he'll be in the inside midfield and he'll probably play 30-40% as a forward as well. Again, I think Noah Hibbins-Hargreaves is a little bit different, though. I think, as I said, he's more of that Hayward, Cam Rayner type of player who will be he's 186 centimeters tall. I think he'll be a high half forward, can take a good mark, can move up the ground, and can also go on the wing, which the Tigers also need. The Tigers do need a wing as well. So it's going to be interesting to see if they were to draft him, where they could kind of see his dynamic. But he definitely fits a massive need as well, which I think the Tigers will be going for. I think the Tigers will be really drafting not only best available, but I think they'll be specifically more looking at needs-based this year, which they did last year, but last year, absolutely, like, everyone was kind of best available of all these picks. I think this year will be very, very needs-based, and as I said, they need a burst inside midfield stoppage player. Could be Sam Grill. They need a high half forward. They also need a wingman. Could be Noah Hibbins-Hargreaves. Again, there's a couple other players. Dyson Sharp, who's ranked at pick 13 out of Adelaide. He's a little bit different. Again, he's an inside midfielder, can also play half-back and the wing. I think the Tigers will look at him. There was at one stage he was ranked a top player in the draft. Again, taking players out of South Australia is a little bit scary, though, because Adelaide and Port Adelaide just poach anyone who comes out of there straight away. So I think that will be considered. Another guy, though, does happen to be Fred Rodriguez, ranked 14, from South Fremantle. Another midfielder who, I don't know if his burst out of the stoppage is as good as Sam Grill, but this guy is one of the fastest players in the league. He moves so quick, and he's a ball magnet. Like, this guy is an absolute disposal machine. I've seen some people kind of compare him to the smaller midfielders who just absolutely collect and rack disposals, who are quick around the ground, you know, like a Dacos brother, or a little bit like a Zach Butters. I've seen that comparison a little bit more, just because of how well he moves around the ground. So I think because the Tigers are absolutely looking for speed, he'll be another one that they look at. Again, there's a ton of different names that are being thrown up the Tigers will look at. There's Javan Filippo, of course, the brother of Matisse Filippo. There's a guy, I know that the Tigers don't probably necessarily need him, but if you're looking at best available, Archie Littlewick is the key forward, who's I think the best available key forward nearly in the draft. Josh Lindsay out of the Geelong Falcons. I haven't really researched him too much, but I know he's ranked number 6, and I think he's a bit of a halfback as well. I believe, 183 centimeters. So considering the Tigers, are they going to look at a halfback? We don't really know yet, right? So there's a lot of players that the Tigers could draft here, but if I had my overall prediction on who I think the Tigers will ultimately select with, let's just say, pick 3 and 4, I genuinely believe with pick 3, they will probably select the, of course, 9th ranked Sam Grill. I think he'd be a really good player for them to take. And with the 4th overall pick, I'm kind of maybe even leaning at the moment to Noah Hibbins-Hargreaves at pick 12. Again, ranked 12, sorry. Even though these guys are ranked 9 and 12, if you take away the academies and whatnot, they're kind of ranked like, 6 and 8. So it's not too far off 3 and 4. They fit the needs really well, the Tigers. They're also playing unbelievably good footy at the moment. I think there'll be 2 guys the Tigers really look at. But in terms of like some of the best available, like other players too, there'll be a couple of them there. But Dyson Sharp and Rodriguez, I think are the other ones I'm closely paying attention to. So if I had my pick, I think Brill and Hibbins-Hargreaves would be my pick 3 and 4. So we'll definitely have to wait and see. This is so early. I'll probably change my mind tomorrow, let alone change my mind in 3 months. So we'll definitely have to wait and see. Again, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for latest AFL content and AFL news. Don't forget to comment your thoughts and opinions down below. And what do you guys think about the 2025 draft? And who do you guys think the Richmond Football Club could select at pick 3 and 4 or 2 and 3, whatever they're going to have? Again, I'd very much like to know. Subscribe to my gaming channel, which will be linked down below. Subscribe to this channel for more sports content, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.